So Diddy wants to be a counselor. And a lot of you guys are laughing at that. I think it's pretty good. After all, I'm a soul coach, okay? And what makes me a good soul coach is I'm spiritual, but it's also like a life coach. And I've been through a lot in my life, like a lot. I come from the hood. I've seen a lot of different walks of life, but yet I went to university. So I saw a lot of educated people. And then because I put myself in businesses and also forefronts like the TV and the radio, I've met a lot of people who are reputable, all the way from politicians to artists. So I have seen a lot of walks in life from a lot of different people, men, women, and families and single people. And that's what makes me a really good coach because of my experience. Now, I also had a child at age 17, so I experienced childhood pregnancy too, or they called it teenage pregnancy back in my day. Yes, I have seen a lot. I've gone through a lot of relationships, and hey, I have been with some doozies. I have been with guys that tried to lay hands on me. I have been with guys that have cheated, and I've also been with some really good men that I just was not compatible with. So all of that in a big bundle gave me so much experience. I have lived so many different lives in this one life. I believe that that's what makes a good coach. Someone that has been there and done it, not just someone that took a course. Of course, I took some courses in college, and of course, I took a little bit of psychology and, some life skills, counseling and stuff of that nature. And those courses are really great, but you got to get out in the world. I live in the Dominican Republic, like I've said on many of my videos, and I learned Spanish in the streets. And you know what? I can speak Spanish, and yeah, it's a little broken, I'll admit. But the same thing is, if you learn Spanish through a book or through an app, you still got to get out in those streets. And you may not be able to think quick on your feet because you learned from an app without any experience. But once you get into those streets and you really start talking to other people who speak Spanish, then that's when you start to get your bearings right. So I say all that to say, you have to experience something in order to understand it fully and completely. The worst is a person who never had kids and tries to tell someone else how to raise them. That's ridiculous, Yeah, they can give you some advice. Yeah, they can give you some tips. Of course. But would they be able to handle a real bad kid 24/7? Just because they read a book? No. And you know that if you're a parent. You know that. Every bad kid's different. You have to know that kid, and you have to have the experience to get into the mind of the kid. So, same thing as Diddy. Diddy's taking these counseling courses now, and it is being rumored that he wants to start counseling a little bit when he gets out. And I think this is part of his brother love image. I don't think that he's going to be doing this one-on-one. I think, as it was rumored, remember Rodney? One of those civil suits? Well, Rodney said that Diddy used to work out on the treadmill and watch TD Jakes and just watch everything he did as he was on stand talking on the microphone, studying him, and changing his name to Brother Love. Maybe he wants to become a motivational speaker. When he gets out, he's already talking about doing some Madison Square Garden stuff. What is that? Maybe it's music, but it could also be talking to the youth, talking to the people, not even just the youth, but talking to the people out there who could be addicted to the freaky deaky and who could also be addicted to substances like he was and probably always will be because of how his lifestyle was. But now that he's taking the rehabilitation course and the anger management course as he's behind bars, he's learning a lot. And he's probably using that valuable information in his everyday thinking. The skill sets that he's using them like tools inside of his brain when he's thinking. And I think this is very positive. And I do believe, and this is my prediction, guys, that when Diddy gets out, he's going to start pursuing that after he gets everything else dealt with. Of course, there are a lot of people online right now saying the professionals are saying that Diddy's going to get 20 years. He's in trouble. That is not true. You have to look at the law, and the law is the law. Even the prosecutors are not asking for 20 years. It's 10 years for each Mann Act charge. They're not even asking for that, right? The most that he will get from the prosecutor is probably 4 years. He already served a year of dead time, and that usually goes into a little bit more than a year. And then, of course, he'll get probation. So right now, as we speak, I believe that Diddy is planning his future. He's looking at becoming a counselor. It is being rumored, and he would probably be a really good one for the masses out there. Some of you guys might be like, why? How could he be a counselor? That's horrible. That's gross. Look what he did to Cassie. Look what he did to Jane Doe. Look what he did to who else? He didn't do anything to children. And if he did something with men, it's not on video. And even then, there are a lot of people out there who are gay. So let's look at the basics. Even if you don't like him, you will have to understand that this is a man who will be recognizing what he did to others, to himself, and how he can rectify that and change it, and help change other people who are in the process of going to where he is now. And quite possibly taking their path and putting it on a better direction. I don't know. I've seen so many people go low. I've seen so many people in my lifetime, again, being from the hood, I've seen a lot of people just hit rock bottom, whether it was because of substances or whether it was because of depression, whether it was because of a failed relationship, or maybe they just didn't have faith in themselves. I have seen them after coaching sessions, either with myself or with other professionals who have been there and done that, help these people out. A lot of people don't want to go get help from professionals that have never been there and done that. A lot of people, for instance, one of the best examples I can give you right now, when you get addicts and they go where? To AA. They find mentors. And those mentors are sometimes people who were drugging and drinking for 40, 50 years. And then all of a sudden they're clean for like 10 years and they become mentors. And you know what? They can identify with the person who is now trying to get clean, because the person who's now trying to get clean can say to that mentor, hey, it's calling me right now, their drug of choice, whatever it was. It could have been gambling. It could have been crack. It could have been coke, heroin, marijuana. It could have been any of those substances. And they're like alcohol. And they are at this point, intimacy, right? They are at this point saying, oh my gosh, I'm craving. And the mentor can understand, because the mentor was there maybe even longer years than that person that they are mentoring. And the mentor says, hey, buddy, or hey, sweetheart, just sit still. I'm on the phone with you right now. We're going to talk. We're going to discuss this. We're going to get past this. That mentor is not getting paid. That mentor is volunteering their time to help someone else. And I believe that Diddy is finding that same type of support right now from Mark Agnifilo, because they have some long conversations on the phone. And it was said that they do. And sometimes the conversations are not even about law. It's just about Diddy's plans for the future. So when you look at a situation like that, you know that he has a friend and he's talking to somebody who's not in that same type of lifestyle interest. And so Mark is talking to him and saying, buddy, you know what? Keep your head up. Do what is right for you. And what is right for you will follow you. So I'm telling you guys right now, my prediction is I do believe those rumors are true. And when Diddy gets out, he's going to pursue that brother love, that spiritual mentality. And we might hear him live on stage from Madison Square Gardens giving some inspirational, motivational speeches, talking intimately about his past and talking openly about his jail experiences. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sister Cerise. Please take a moment to subscribe. Don't just watch the video. Hit like, and I need you to do me a couple of favors. You know, I have some other channels here on YouTube. One is called Fairfax Files, and it is a true crime channel. Go on over there and check it out. I would love to see you on that platform. And I also have another channel, and it is called The Fifth Dimension with Cerise, where I talk about relationships. I talk about spirituality. I talk about living not in the third dimension of need and want, or the fourth dimension of meditation, inspiration, and desire, but in the fifth dimension where you know how to get what you want, when you want it, how you want it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next video. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blessings. Be good to yourself out there. You deserve it. And remember, tomorrow is not promised, so make the best of today. See you next time.